Question number 7 is, Muhammad is supposed to be the most perfect human to ever walk the face of the earth. He is an example to all humankind, chosen and presented to us by the Almighty Allah. Islam does not only mean to believe in Allah, but also to believe in Muhammad and to agree with him and obey him. So what do you think about the fact that Muhammad had over 11 wives, as far as we know? A number of wives that exceeds the number of wives which average Muslims are allowed, which is 4. A number of wives that he did not need.
Critics often raise the question of why Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had more than 4 wives, while Islam limits ordinary Muslim men to a maximum of 4. They claim this is a contradiction, a privilege given to himself, or a sign of unchecked desire. However, these allegations stem from a lack of historical knowledge and a misunderstanding of Islamic law and the Prophet's mission. To fully understand this, we must examine 1. The general Islamic ruling on polygamy. 2. The specific exemption granted to the Prophet, peace be upon him. 3. The actual reasons behind his marriages. 4. How his marriages benefited society in Islam. 5. Double standards and criticism of polygamy. Let's dismantle these allegations one by one using logic, historical context, and authentic Islamic teachings. Islam did not introduce polygamy, it regulated it. Polygamy was a universal practice long before Islam. In pre-Islamic Arabia and other societies, men married as many women as they wanted, often treating them as property. Islam regulated and restricted this practice. The Quran states, "And if you fear that you will not deal justly with orphan girls, then marry those that please you of other women, 2, 3, or 4. But if you fear that you will not be just, then marry only 1. Quran 4:3. Islam did not introduce polygamy but limited it to a maximum of 4. Justice between wives is mandatory, and if a man cannot be just, he must marry only 1. A special exception given by Allah. The Quran explicitly states that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was given special permissions regarding marriage. O Prophet, indeed, we have made lawful to you your wives to whom you have given their due compensation. Quran 33:50. It is not lawful for you to marry more women after this, nor to exchange them for other wives, even if their beauty were to please you. Quran 33. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was given a divine exception because of his unique mission. Unlike other Muslim men, he was later forbidden from marrying more women. If he was marrying for personal reasons, why would he accept restrictions that no other Muslim had? This shows his marriages were not about personal pleasure, but divinely mandated for a greater purpose. If he married for desire, why? Did he remain in a monogamous marriage with Khadijah, may Allah be pleased with her, for 25 years? Why did he marry mostly widows and divorcees instead of young virgins? Why did he live a life of extreme simplicity, often going hungry despite having multiple wives? Clearly, his marriages were not for pleasure, but for strategic, social, and religious purposes. 1. Strengthening tribal and political alliances. Arabian society was deeply tribal. Marrying women from different tribes helped unify rival groups and prevent wars. Habiba, daughter of Abu Sufyan, a leader of the Quraysh who had long opposed Islam. This marriage helped mend relations with Quraysh. Juwayriya bint al-Harith, she was from the Banu Mustalik tribe. When the Prophet married her, her entire tribe embraced Islam peacefully. Safiya bint Huyay, she was from a Jewish tribe. This marriage built harmony between Muslims and Jews. These marriages were political and strategic, fostering peace and unity. 2. Providing protection and honor to widows. Women, especially widows, had little to no social protection in Arabia. The Prophet married several widows to protect them and give them honor. Sauda bint Zama, an elderly widow. He married her to provide her security. Hafsa bint Umar, a widow whose husband died in battle. Even her father, Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, struggled to find her a husband. The Prophet married her to honor her and strengthen ties with Umar. Zainab bint Khuzaymah, known as Mother of the Poor, she was a widow. The Prophet's marriage to her was an act of kindness. His marriages were not about fulfilling desires, but about uplifting and protecting vulnerable women. 3. Preserving and teaching Islamic law. The Prophet's wives were scholars and teachers, preserving Islam's teachings. Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, she narrated over 2,000 hadiths and became one of the greatest female scholars in Islamic history. Other wives played a vital role in teaching women-specific laws in Islam. His marriages ensured Islamic laws on family life, marriage, and ethics were recorded accurately. 4. Abolishing ignorant social norms. The Prophet's marriage to Zainab bint Jahsh was a direct command from Allah to abolish an unjust tradition. Zainab was previously married to Zayd ibn Haritha, the Prophet's adopted son. Arabs falsely considered adopted sons as biological sons, preventing their widows from remarrying. By marrying Zainab, the Prophet abolished this false belief and clarified the status of adoption. His marriage was a legal reform, not personal desire. 5. Legislative and divine purposes. His marriages shaped Islamic laws on inheritance, divorce and remarriage, the rights of widows and orphans. Instead of questioning his marriages, critics should recognize how they contributed to Islamic justice and ethics. Other religious figures had multiple wives. Prophet Solomon, peace be upon him, 700 wives and 300 concubines, 1 Kings 11:3. Prophet David, peace be upon him, multiple wives and concubines, 2 Samuel 5:13. Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him, married both Hagar and Sarah. If polygamy is a problem, why do critics ignore these examples but only attack Islam? The answer is simple: double standards. The Prophet's marriages were not based on personal need but on divine wisdom and social benefit. He lived humbly, often having no food for days. He never divorced any of his wives despite hardships. He remained faithful to Khadijah for 25 years before marrying again after her death. If he was marrying for pleasure, why would he accept divine restrictions that no other Muslim had? Prophet Muhammad's, peace be upon him, marriages were strategic, humanitarian, and divine, not based on desire. Islam regulated polygamy, unlike other traditions that had no limits. Critics ignore similar practices in other religions, but attack Islam unfairly. If this explanation helped clear misconceptions, like, share, and subscribe to support spreading authentic knowledge. Have questions? Drop them in the comments below. Stay tuned for more responses to common misconceptions about Islam.